Azərbaycan Prezidentinin köməkçisi Prezident Administrasiyasının Xarici Siyasət Məsələləri Şöbəsinin müdiri Hikmət Hacıyev jurnalistlər üçün brifinq keçirdi və həmin brifinqdə açıqlanıb ki, bəzi torpaqlarımız işğaldan azad olunub. Füzulinin 4 kəndi və Cəbrailin isə 2 kəndi işğaldan azad edilib. Gözümüz aydın olsun.
This announcement of the Azerbaijani TV presenter has become a symbol of the years-long struggle of Azerbaijani Turks. At the essence of the struggle lies the fact that approximately 20% of the Azerbaijani territories are under occupation. The focusing point of this problem, which has been going on for nearly 30 years, is the Nagorno-Karabakh region. After the recent hot conflicts, the unresolved problem of the Caucasus, the Nagorno-Karabakh occupation, is once again on the agenda. What did the parties say about the Nagorno-Karabakh issue, which has become a deadlock? What is the source of the conflict and what has happened until today? This is the Karabakh region. The region consisting of Nagorno-Karabakh, an area of nearly 1,700 square miles, and its surrounding 7 settlements, 248.5 miles away from the Azerbaijan's capital Baku, is under Armenian occupation. The region has borders with Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Iran. It is also home to rich natural resources, but the region has now become a point of instability in the Caucasus, a center of hot conflicts. On the morning of September 27, Armenia carried out attacks in the region targeting civilians as well. Following the attacks, clashes between Armenia and Azerbaijan on the Nagorno-Karabakh contact line resumed. But the conflict in the region goes 30 years back. The problem in the region, which had an autonomous status under Baku during the former Soviet Union period, came to light during the disintegration of the Soviets. Armenia's claim in the Karabakh started a war that lasted more than a quarter century. Although both countries gained their independence during this period, the conflict continued in the Nagorno-Karabakh. While Azerbaijan advocated that the region should become a part of it, Armenia sought to create a so-called independent state in the Nagorno-Karabakh.
Sovyetler Birliği dağılmadan önce Ermenistan Azerbaycan'a yönelik toprak iddiaları ileri sürmeye çalıştı ama bu hem Sovyetler Anayasası'na aykırıydı hem de Cumhuriyetlerin anayasalarına aykırıydı. Buna rağmen Ermenistan parlamentosu Azerbaycan topraklarının bir kısmını kendisine birleştirmekle ilgili karar aldı.
After 6 months of war, Armenia invaded 7 different regions along with Karabakh to this day. While nearly 1 million Azerbaijani Turks were displaced, those who remained in the region became refugees. Khojaly massacre during the war, which claimed the lives of 30,000 people, became one of the most tragic symbols of the problem. And the incident occurred in Khojaly town of Nagorno-Karabakh region on February 25, 1992. 613 Azerbaijani Turks, including more than 150 civilians, died. In this process, Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe stepped in. The Minsk Group was created when Turkey, France, Russia, and the US and other countries in the region came together to ensure a ceasefire in the region. As a result of these attempts, the BISHKEK Protocol was signed in 1994 to end the conflicts between the two countries. Although a ceasefire was declared with this agreement, the dispute did not end, and the war did not officially end. Despite all diplomatic efforts, de facto conflicts continued from time to time between the parties. In other words, the waters did not clear on the Baku-Yerevan front. While the conflicts could not change the ongoing status quo, the declared ceasefire could not evolve in a final solution. Finally, in July, Armenia attacked Azerbaijan's border city of Tovuz. Before long, this confrontational attitude of Armenia raised the heat in the region again. In fact, International law supports the thesis of Azerbaijan on this issue. The decisions taken by the UN Security Council regarding the conflict in the region called for an immediate end to the Armenian occupation of Nagorno-Karabakh. But unfortunately, these decisions have not been implemented for 30 years. Moreover, international actors do not take necessary steps to implement these decisions.
Bu ülkelerin işgalci tarafı desteklememek doğrultusunda yükümlülükleri var. Aynı zamanda Birleşmiş Milletler Güvenlik Konseyi'nin daimi üyeleri olarak aldıkları kararlara saygı duymaları lazım. Aldıkları kararların uygulanması için en çok onların çaba sarf etmeleri lazım. Maalesef bunu da görmüyoruz.
On the other hand, it is a known fact that Baku and Yerevan are not the only parties to the tension in Nagorno-Karabakh. Countries like Russia, Iran, and France are active in the conflict. Discourses and actions of Russia, the successors of the Soviets in particular, open the door for discussion.
Rusya bugün burada kendince kendi çıkarları çerçevesinde dengeyi korumaya çalışıyor. Her iki tarafa silah satmaya çalışıyor, ekonomik ilişkilerini korumaya çalışıyor. Tabii eski Sovyet bölgesinde kendi etkinliğini devam ettirmeye çalışıyor ama Dağlık Karabağ Azerbaycan toprağıdır ve bunun altında Rusya'nın da imzası var. Rusya da bunu kabullenmek zorundadır.
France, which has recently been seeking an active role particularly in the Mediterranean and the Middle East, also shows up here.
Bonjour.
It is known that France, hosting a significant part of the Armenian diaspora, supports Armenia militarily and economically.
Maalesef hem Fransa hem ABD özellikle son 10 yıllık dönemde daha çok çözümsüzlüğün devam etmesi yönünde politikalar istediler.
Another question in mind is, what are the reasons behind Armenia's increasing aggressive attitude recently? Armenia's continuation of the occupation in the region, ignoring the decisions of the UN Security Council, is interpreted as the support it receives from regional and global actors. Prime Minister of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, who took office in 2018, has not made a considerable change regarding the conflict. Pashinyan's remarks on the recent clashes are a clear indicator of the situation.
Artsakh name is aged for several thousand years.
Yeah, Prime Minister,
Second,
Prime Minister,
we are
it's not.
We are
to be honest
mutual.
with you,
We are.
It's not.
common-
We can't go through thousands of years of your history. What we can do is address the realities of today. The UN General Assembly, as you
The
well know,
reality is
hang on. The UN General Assembly has adopted a resolution which quite clearly, quote, demands the immediate, complete, unconditional withdrawal of all Armenian forces from the occupied territories of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Now that's from the UN General Assembly. Under international law, your forces are a force of occupation.
The Baku front is willing to sit at the table for the solution process, but the precondition is that the Yerevan administration should withdraw from the occupied territories. Armenia, on the other hand, is determined to continue its confrontational attitude.
Yorumlardan biri de budur ki Ermenistan Başbakanı kendi sorunlarını çözemediği için bunu bir araç olarak kullanıyor, bir gölgelemek olarak kullanıyor ve ben bunun bir geçerlilik olduğunu düşünüyorum.
In the current situation, while clashes continue on the front line, the Azerbaijani army continues to advance in the operation it launched to save its occupied territories. The Armenian army has given heavy losses in terms of manpower and military equipment. Turkey stands with Azerbaijan both in the field and at the table. Russia, the US and France issued a joint statement calling on the parties to resume negotiations under the auspices of the OSCE Minsk group without any preconditions. Neighboring country Iran is in a similar line. The institutions such as the UN and the EU, accused by the Azerbaijani front of applying double standards, were content with just calling on the parties to restraint. This time, Baku seems determined to liberate Nagorno-Karabakh from occupation. What will happen in the upcoming process in Karabakh, one of the key points of the Caucasus, is a matter of curiosity.